Reichenstein Castle. Dietrich von Hohenfels and his 9 sons were robber barons who used the castle as a stronghold. His sons were caught by the authorities and killed. Hohenfels was captured the next day. He asked that he be hanged and his sons' lives be spared, but upon seeing that they were already dead, his head fell from his body. All 10 bodies were buried in St. Clement Chapel, in the castle, and the ghost, headless, is said to haunt the castle. It is difficult to say exactly how old Reichenstein really is. The oldest building indications date the foundations from the early 11th century. Reichenstein is almost 1,000 years old. At that time the region belonged to the distant Abbey Kornelimünster near Aachen, which was received as a gift from Ludwig, the Pios. The abbey appointed bailiffs for the administration and for the safeguard of its rights. One of these bailiffs was the knight Rangbodo (1151–1196) and his descendants. Gerhard of Rangbodo, who resided in the castle, raged as robber knight through the region and demanded goods violently from the travelers and shipmen. In 1213, he was disposed of. The first documentary writings of the castle originate from that year. Knight Philip became his successor. He came from the powerful family von Belanden. In 1218 his son Werner took the name von Reichenstein, but since he died without an heir, the castle feared robber knights of his time. He did not follow the instructions of his feudal lords in Kornelimünster and overpowered more and more tradesmen who were traveling the Rhine River Valley. Reichenstein Castle. In 1253, the Archbishop of Mainz and the army of the Town Association conquered and destroyed Reichenstein. Philip von Hohenfels had surrendered and promised good conduct so that he could live. He used the following period to rebuild Reichenstein stronger and more defensive than ever before. He carried on with robbing during these politically unstable times and ascended to the high office of imperial vicar and began to steal church property. As a consequence, the Archbishop of Mainz banned him from the church. All this happened during the times of interregnum, and came to an end when the imperial power was once again strengthened. The times of robber knights on the Rhine was over. In 1282 the new king besieged the castle. Nevertheless he did not succeed to storm the stronghold, but forced the garrison to surrender by means of starvation. These battles were better fights, raging during the 13th century around Reichenstein. Many arrow points have been found on the castle grounds and can be seen in the museum. Contrary to the legend, Dietrich of Hohenfels was not decapitated, but actually escaped. His companions were hung on the trees in the valley by order of Rudolf von Habsburg. The castle was burnt down in 1290. The king had forbidden that Reichenstein and the neighboring fortress, also a nest of robber knights, be rebuilt, but both were restored.